listening to the Wanderlusting Wives podcast, your podcast for escaping life's monotony, inspiring self-love, and discovering the constant beauty of this ever-changing world.
Welcome to Wildcard Wednesdays. On this week's episode, Allie and Regan share their highs and lows for the week, their bad habits, and the power of social media. Welcome to the Wanderlusting Wives podcast. We are your navigators, Allison
and Regan. And today is Wildcard Wednesday, so happy Wildcard Wednesday, everybody. Before we jump into our conversation of escape, inspire, and discover, we do have just a couple of updates. If you haven't had the opportunity yet to go and check out our new website, we encourage you to do that. That's www.wanderlustingwives.com. And there you can find more information about us. You can have an easy way to listen to all of our episodes, current and from last season, and just get an opportunity to connect with us too. If you're interested in being on our Travel Tuesday episodes to share some of your travel stories, we'd love to have you. So Allie, any updates on your end?
Yeah, we are still doing our giveaway on social media. Remember, we're trying to reach 200 followers. So please make sure you are following us. And we are on Instagram at Wanderlusting Wives, Facebook, Wanderlusting Wives Podcast, Twitter at Wanderlust Wives. And make sure you are subscribing to our newsletter so you can get an extra entry for our giveaway. And as always, you're always welcome to email us at wanderlustingwives@gmail.com.
Awesome. Yeah. So there's a lot going on over here at the Wanderlusting Wives podcast, and we're so glad that you're along for the journey. So let's go ahead and jump in today. We're going to start off with our escape segment where we're going to spin our digital wheel of topics, and this is going to be completely live and in person. We have no idea what this is going to say. So here we go. Wheel is spinning. You ready, Allie?
Yes, I guess so.
Oh. Okay. This is a pretty good one. All right, so habits that we have / creating habits that we want. Generally, I'm getting just the vibe of we're talking about habits today. Maybe some habits that we have in our lives, maybe ones that we want to create, anything like that. Or if you have advice for creating habits, because I know that's also a really hard thing to do. So yeah, there we go. You got anything off the bat?
The only thing I can really think of is just wanting to create more consistent habits around my health. My husband and I have started using HelloFresh for our dinners, which has been amazing. I am not the best cook and I make too much, or I don't add enough spices, or it just tastes nasty. So HelloFresh has been an awesome, habit, we'll call it, that we have started in the new year, and we have been absolutely loving it. You can pick from a variety of different categories. So we try to pick quick and easy and healthy, and they've been really balanced meals, which have been great. Everything hasn't been 5 stars, but 3 stars and up, which is good. So I feel like it's worth the money and the time. And then just building more habits around getting outside and not having excuses for, it's a little too cold or whatever. Just go out there and go for a walk, even if it's just for a half an hour. I just want to be better about building that kind of habit. And one other habit that I've been trying to incorporate is meditation and yoga, because it just feels so good to connect with your mind and your body and step away from the craziness that this world is. And that's kind of goes along with our podcast as well, as just escaping life's monotony. And I do that through meditation and yoga, which I've really been loving so far this year.
Yeah, meditation is great. That's one thing that I've been trying to incorporate into my routine too. And I have access to the Calm app, and that's been awesome. There are so many great resources in there. And I feel like that's such a common theme with people of creating habits, or the habits that they have, or the habits they don't like, things like that. A lot of them have to do with health. Whether that's working out, whether that's eating habits, anything like that. And it's really hard to create habits, and I think that's because your body gets so used to a routine. It's a mental game, it's a physical game, and you have to be really committed. Because I think I've heard that it takes like 40 days of consistent action towards creating a habit for it to actually sink in and become part of your routine, which is it's a lot of time to commit to that. But if you do stick with it, I feel like whatever gets released in your body when you're like, wow, look at what I did, I feel like it's so worth it. And at least that's what the case for me of like getting up, even though I hate getting up early in the morning. But just like knowing that if I get up and I do a ride on my Peloton, or if I take the time in the evening to ride on my Peloton, work out, like move my body somehow, like I always feel better. It's a mental game too. And I think that's probably the hardest part is getting over that mental, like the voice in your head that's telling you you can't. That's really what it is with habits, is getting past that, no, I can't do that. That, I don't know. Does that feel accurate to you too, Ellie?
Yeah, the voice inside of my head, though, is saying, "Just eat another piece of chocolate, you don't need to work out today." So
I hear that. I
we're
hear that.
working on that one.
Yeah, last night we often on Sundays, or honestly anytime, my husband makes fresh pasta sauce, and it is phenomenal. I love it. And of course, then pasta, though, there's so many carbs and it's acidic and acid reflux, all of the wonderful things that come with something that tastes so good. And we make garlic bread with it too. And I'm like, do I need another bowl of pasta and another piece of garlic bread? Yes, I do. And you know what? That's the other part of it too, is like building a habit of being kind to your body. So, and that I think comes with balance. It's not just saying, "Oh, I can't have that." Well, I can have it in moderation, like, because again, you have one life. You need to listen to your body and be kind to your body with whatever it needs. But also, like, just because you gained, I don't know, however much weight, or you look a certain way or you don't, like, you're beautiful and you still are deserving of the things that nourish and make your body feel good. Again, in moderation. But it's all habit building, and it's really hard. It's really hard. Yeah.
It is. It's so hard too, and there's just so many, like, temptations to stray away from building those habits too, which makes it 10 times harder.
Yeah. It's as if getting up in the morning, I think, oh, but this extra 10 minutes of sleep that I get by just like snoozing my alarm each time, that's really going to make a difference. And you know what? Sometimes maybe it does, but other times it's like, really? You thought 10 minutes would like impact the rest of your day versus getting up and like get your body moving? That's probably one of my bad habits, is just like snoozing my alarm all the time. Do you have bad habits that you want to share?
Yeah, just listening to the voice in my head that's telling me to eat more chocolate. That's my biggest bad habit. I'm really good with getting up when my alarm goes off, or even usually before my alarm goes off. But yeah, sweets, they get me.
Yeah. It's really hard. And it's hard too when one of my hobbies is baking. It's like, then I can't exercise my hobby all the time because then I'm just going to turn into a balloon. Like,
Right.
got to find that balance. But outside of health, I'm trying to think of habits like, I mean, there's the obvious, like brushing your teeth and things like that, like your actual lifestyle habits that are like ingrained in you as a child, or at least they were for me. But I'm trying to think of like other habits too, of like, I'm really bad at like watching too much Netflix. That's probably a bad habit. I've gotten the habit of watching Netflix while I'm in the shower. Like,
Wait,
I could
what? How do
probably
you
get
watch Netflix in the shower? We need to talk about this. How does that even
okay.
work?
I discovered this during COVID. I got a little plastic baggie, like quart size or something like that, and I cut a small hole up towards the zip at the top, and I just put my phone down in the baggie and I hang it on this little hook at the back, like on the opposite wall of the shower head. And yeah.
Wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
how long are your showers then? Are you watching like a whole episode of something and then getting out? Like that's going to be like
Okay,
40 minutes
whoa.
to an hour.
Yes, I do take long showers. I do take long showers, and that's probably a bad habit too. They're scalding hot. That's yeah. Got to work on my shower routine. But yeah, no, I just kind of watch and by watch, I mean, like, I listen to it in the background mostly, and it's
Okay.
usually shows or something that I've seen before, so, like, kinda get the gist of what's going on. But, yeah, I don't, like, take longer in the shower because I'm watching Netflix, but, like, I don't know. I feel like I could do something else with that time.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
I'm just afraid to be alone with my thoughts, I don't know.
I can understand that. The shower, you can get some deep thinking going on.
It's true, it's when you're at your most vulnerable and, most present and honest with yourself.
Yeah, that is very true. Wow, I'm just really
Mhm.
impressed that you watch Netflix in the shower. I've heard of, like, people having, like, a beer in the shower or something, but Netflix,
Mm.
wow, next level.
Yeah, yeah. Not super proud of it, so that's a habit that I'm, maybe gonna be trying to break, but, so if you have tips for breaking habits, let me know.
Also, one thing that I've heard a lot of people love is the Atomic Habits book. I've never read it before, but if any of our listeners have read it, let us know, like email us or DM us and let us know if it's worth reading because I've heard so many people are like, this book is so life-changing. I'm like, I wonder. Because I am also in the habit of if I'm not drawn in by the first like 2 to 3 chapters of a book, I kind of just check out. So I want to make sure it's even worth buying because if it's just going to be kind of boring and not really worthwhile, then I don't want to read the book.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, like, be a better book.
Exactly. Draw me in from the very beginning.
Yeah. Well, there's something for everyone. That's why there are so many books in the world, and we'll talk more about books in a little while. But, anything else on habits for you as we wrap up our escape segment?
That's all I can think of.
All right, awesome.
And now a quick word from our sponsor. Newsly is an all-in-one audio super app for iOS and Android. It picks up the most trending articles on the web on topics you choose at any given moment and reads them to you in a natural human voice. The entire web becomes listenable for the first time, all in one place. Browse articles from topics you choose and start playing. Stop scrolling and start listening. You can follow any topic as specific as you like, from sports, tech, business, science, Bitcoin, or even the Kardashians. It will find you the latest articles and read them to you aloud. And the best part, they have podcasts. Explore trending podcasts from over 80 countries. You can even find us there. I started using it as my default podcast app. They even have a digital radio. Download and use Newsly for free now at www.newsly.me or from the link in the description and use promo code WIVES. That's WIVES. And you can get a 1-month free premium subscription. You can find all this information in our description from this episode. And now back to our episode.
Well, let's move on to Inspire, where we will hopefully inspire honesty with you and yourself and your community by being honest with you and ourselves. So, Allie, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first for our high-low game?
I'll go first. Keep up
All
the
right.
tradition of me going first.
Go for it.
So my high is that the past like 2 weeks really, the weather has just been phenomenal. The sun has been shining, and if you live in the Northeast, you know it's very cloudy and gloomy and sad, and there's not much sunshine this time of year. So even when it's 40, I feel like I can just go outside in like a t-shirt and shorts because it feels so nice out when the sun is shining, and I just feel so much happier and excited for the day when the sun is shining opposed to when it's cloudy and snowing and raining and gross out. So I've been loving
Yeah.
that, and I'm actually enjoying going outside for walks now because the sun is shining. So that's been
Definitely
really
helps.
nice. Yeah, especially since it is, still winter and the stinking groundhog saw his shadow, so we're going to be 6 more weeks of this crap. So I appreciate the sun coming out a little bit and giving me some hope. So that's been really nice. And then my low is trying to find something that's not about my dogs, but sorry, I have to talk about my dogs.
We're here
So
for it.
yeah, I figured you would be, so I figured I would use it. My youngest dog, Marley, who we got beginning of January, she has just been crazy. So full of energy and like uncontrollable practically. So we've been getting her trained like professionally. She's had like 4 1-hour sessions, and this past weekend she started boot camp. So she is away for 2 weeks, staying with the instructor and the trainer, whatever you want to call him, and she's getting trained. So it's been sad for us. And our other dog, Kira, has just kind of been like moping around, looking out the window, like wondering where Marley is. So it's been a little sad for all of us, but we're all excited because we'll have a little more peace in the home, hopefully, when she comes back. We've heard really great things about the boot camp, so we're excited for the progress that she's going to make during her 2-week stay, even though we are really missing her. We know it's for the better for all of us because she'll be much happier since she's not getting in trouble all the time, and she is finding ways to, I guess, distinguish some of her energy, because right now it's insane. We have to, believe it or not, put our dog on a treadmill because we don't have enough hours in our day to walk her 10, 15 miles, whatever she needs to actually be calm.
Dear God. Well, there is a win in there, though. Like, Kira's missing her. That's so cute.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? Because Marley was always like pouncing on Kira and pulling on her neck and harassing her.
Aw.
So it's nice to see that they actually do love each other. So it is like a high, but also a low at the same time.
How much time does she have left at the boot camp?
She just started yesterday, so 13 more days.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, she'll come back an angel pup.
Yes, I will report back when she has
returned
from boot camp and is hopefully wonderful.
Oh, I'm sure she will be. Yeah, dogs can be highs and lows, but ultimately making life better.
Definitely.
Well, I think my low was Nolan got COVID this past week, and I was like, I thought we were done with this thing, and we're not. And now I'm just kind of like in limbo of, okay, am I going to get it? What's going to happen? And he had a very, very mild case, so like we weren't too worried about it. And in a way, it was also kind of a high, trying to see the positive of it, of like it wasn't so bad for him. He was just like mostly just lethargic and tired, which meant that we got to spend an entire weekend just kind of like watching movies. We binged the entire first season of Ted Lasso, which is amazing. It is so good. I'd heard people talk about how good it was, but I did not realize that it is like amazing. So if you haven't yet, definitely check it out. Highly recommend. But it gave us a lot of time together, but it was just kind of like a damper on our Valentine's weekend. We were supposed to like go to dinner and all this stuff. We didn't end up being able to do that, but made the most of it. And so that was a low and a little bit of a high, trying to see a high out of it. But the actual high is that on Friday night, I got a FaceTime call from one of my friends, and she said that she was engaged. So that's really exciting. It's always exciting to see friends hitting milestones and just living their best lives and becoming happier and happier by the day. And I'm super, super happy for them. So that was definitely a high of my past week. It was just, I'm so happy. And I love love and weddings and all of that too. So it was exciting to see another couple and friend of mine just like entering that next stage. It's exciting stuff, you know?
Yes, I love that. One of my friends actually recently got engaged, and the first thing I said to her is like, I feel like I got engaged because I'm so excited. Like, I love proposals and weddings and all of that fun stuff. So it's fun to be in this stage of life, even though you and I have experienced engagement, oh gosh, like 3, 4, 5 years ago now. It's been a while. So it's cool to, witness other people experience the same feelings that we did so long ago.
It's true, but like even going to weddings and everything, I feel like it's a renewal of my outlook on my marriage. I'm just like, oh, this is so cute. Remember when we did this, and like so in love and all of this stuff. And I don't know if that'll wear off someday. I hope it doesn't. But like I love love, like real love, true love. That's just committing yourself to someone else for the rest of your life, I completely believe in it. And it's just like, and basing a relationship on friendship too. Like having that as a basis, like if you're married to your best friend, like you're golden. It's great. So, I love it. And with that, we will move on to our final segment, our Discover segment. And Allie, what is our headline for today?
I love this one. Like Regan said, we're going to talk about books again. This is where we're going to talk about books. You may have already seen this if you're on TikTok or it's floating around on other social media at this point, probably. But the headline says, Unlikely Book hits #1 on Amazon after daughter's TikTok showed dad's toil and low sales. And this source is US Today if you want to check it out. Or like I said, you've probably seen it floating around TikTok or other social media by the time this episode is published. But it is such a beautiful article, and if you've seen the videos, they will probably bring you to tears. And essentially what has happened here is, like it says, the daughter's TikTok, she created about like a 17-second TikTok showcasing her dad like working hard in his attic. He had worked on this book for 14 years while he was working full-time and had 3 kids, and he had published the book in 2012 and got a couple sales, but nothing crazy. And then after this TikTok, it just blew up overnight, essentially. At this point, the TikTok is at 45 million views, and the dad's book has reached #1 on Amazon's bestseller for like thrillers. And the coolest part is that there are negotiations over his second book and with Hollywood Studios over movie rights. So it just blows my mind how social media can actually be used for something good and to positively change someone's life instead of negatively changing it, because so many people can comment negative stuff and just be so mean on the internet. So it's really nice to hear a story about something that's changing someone's life. And I think I read he's like 74 years old.
I love that. It's so cute, first of all, and also just so late in his life for his dreams to be coming realized. That's so special. And it's like, I'm sitting here as a 25-year-old and I'm like, okay, like dreams do come true. Miracles happen. Like not all people are bad. Everything happens for a reason. All of that is kind of like swarming in my brain right now as I think of, you have one life. And so whatever dreams that you have, like you can make them happen. And other people want to make them happen. Like they want to help you make them happen. And I think this is just such a prime example of that, of like social media actually being used for good, which like, what? And like people want to come out and support. People aren't all bad. People love to feel community, even in this society where like we're all individualistic and we think for ourselves and it's us versus them and everything. Like people do come alongside each other. And I think that's really beautiful. And also just the fact that this is his daughter. And now because of this, like they get to spend so much time together. And I would shout out to anyone who is maybe a little older listening to our podcast. Like just because you're getting older doesn't mean that your time is like out. All things being fair, like you have maybe less time than we might, but like your dreams still can come true. And like now I just feel like a Disney commercial, but also it's true. Like you never know what's going to happen or how your life is just going to be positively impacted by the kindness of others.
Yeah, I love this story. And if you are like an avid listener to our podcast, we have an episode with an older couple who share about their travels and how even after retirement, they're still dreaming of travel, and they're like in their 60s and they're not letting their age stop them because they realize, hey, we've got one life to live, so we're going to do as much as we can. And I'm sure this 74-year-old father never thought his book would be a #1 bestseller, but he took the time, the 14 years to write this book, and his hard work's finally paying off just because the kindness of others. And it's amazing to see people rally around each other when it seems like so much of social media is just pulling each other apart. So I really, really love this
Mhm.
article and this story.
Yeah. So thank you, USA Today, for covering that. It's beautiful. Awesome. All right. I think that kind of wraps up this Wildcard Wednesday. Allie, anything else from you?
No, just be sure to check out our Travel Tuesday episodes. Follow us on social media. Email us. Reach out to us if you'd like to be on our podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in to the Wanderlusting Wives podcast. Come escape with us again every other Tuesday for Travel Tuesdays and every other Wednesday for Wildcard Wednesdays.
Don't forget to give us a subscribe and a follow on all of our social media and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And until next time, wander on.